Welcome. I'm Cerdis. Today I'll be talking about Shaco's rune pages and mastery pages, the viable pages that he can use to play as efficiently as possible. And yeah, so a bit about me. I'm Cerdis, or Zilly. I have two accounts on the league. Both of them are in Diamond 5 right now. I mainly gravitate around Diamond 4, Diamond 5 ELO. I've been playing Shaco for about a year and a half, and I've used many rune pages, from full glass cannon pages to mixed up pages, in the quest of finding a setup that is optimal for Shaco. In Season 4, I mostly mained a full glass cannon page that I found off of a Shaco main called the Young Mini. I don't think he plays anymore. If he does, someone please tell me what his name is so I can copy him again. But that guy showed me in a game one time his full glass cannon page that just blew my head out of the water, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And in Season 4 it worked just because of the way, what was it called? Was it Spirit Stone? It was the jungle stone item. Like, you could just buy that item and have enough regen to stay in the jungle forever with Shaco back in Season 4. But now that we're into pre-season 5, looking at the way the jungle is right now, I thought it'd be important for me to make a guide, because it doesn't look like Riot will be changing too much about Shaco and like the jungle interaction with Shaco in the next few patches. So I think he's in a stable place until they remake him, and I wanted to make a rune page video just so people looking at Shaco's viability for a new season would be able to see his options. So anyways, Shaco uses a very unique blend of stats that not every other jungler will use. So you may need to buy some runes that you don't have yet, just because of the fine optimization that Shaco can take. So actually, this isn't the page I'm going to talk about first. This is the page that I have come up with playing Shaco for like the last, what was it, like a month and a half, 2 months since the season changed. I feel like this is the page that benefits Shaco the most, or in my play style. So let me just break it down for you. I call this page Mixed Chaos just because it gives me a little bit of every stat that I think I need. First off, I take 1 movement speed quint. This is my preference. You actually don't need this per se. It changes your movement speed from 350 to 355. I like that 5 movement speed. I think it's good enough. If you don't, take more attack speed or take an AP quint. It's perfectly fine to mix it up. I just think having that tiny bit of a movement speed on Shaco makes a little bit of a difference when you're ganking in the early game. I'll show you later how stacking movement speed is effective on Shaco, but for now, I like this 1 movement speed. It's my standard. It makes me slightly faster than usual, but not like super fast. It's good enough. Next 2 quints I take are both attack speed quints, giving me a total of 9 attack speed for my runes. This is my preference. Some people play jungle Shaco without any attack speed, and all they do is stack AD. I like having the attack speed to get more backstab procs when the monster is focusing my box as opposed to me. So that's my preference. It helps you farm better in the jungle too, and if you're ahead, you can just farm faster. You just do your attacks faster with this. It makes Shaco feel a lot more fluid. You can auto attack cancel easier with this. I like it. I say give it a try. It's pretty nice. For my reds, I take 7 or whatever amount of AD. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 AD, 1 crit chance. I like crit chance. It's my own preference. It's perfectly fine to get rid of the crit and just stack complete AD. But having crit is good. Sometimes you'll get a crit when you normally wouldn't, and that'll win you a gank, or you'll clear faster than usual just because instead of 1 attack doing 90, now it's doing 130. It's a little difference. It's not gigantic, and it's not like gonna break your game, but I like having that small amount of RNG work for me. Again, if you don't want it, feel free to add more AD. Next, on yellow, I just take flat armor, standard for most junglers. I take flat armor just because I know that the other jungler is going to take it, and I know that it's a standard rune. Like, I don't see why you would forego the armor. You're a jungler, you're going to be taking AD damage from the jungle monsters, you're going to be taking AD damage most likely from the enemy jungler as well, unless they're like fiddlesticks. So this is fine. This gives you all the armor you may need for like the whole game even. Like, you could just sit on this and you're good. Next, for blues, I just take full AP. Recently, I actually had it where I would have like 7 AP and then have like 3 MR. Did I just say 7? 6 AP and 3 MR. This works too, but you're not going to get as much of the AP ratio. Like, it's actually going to not add very much if you only have 7 AP. So you want the full 11. This page is mostly optimized at giving you a nice and consistent clear speed, and then also giving you the stats that you need when you gank. Having MR doesn't help you out in the jungle. Like, as a jungler, killing jungle creeps and coming in for a gank, your MR is not really put into use until later on in the game when you're forced to take magic damage because of the grouping nature of the game. So it's actually perfectly fine to skip early MR. Like, as a fighter character, I believe Shaco has scaling AP anyway, scaling MR anyways, so it's not terrible. And even with this build, you could still stack MR on top of it if need so it's not a big deal to skip it in the rune page. You'll be perfectly fine for the early game. But if you start to suffer from AP damage, I highly recommend buying a Hex Drinker with this because your AP defenses are not covered at all. So this is my page. What this page is really good at doing is, one, it lets you capitalize on the backstab component of farming in the jungle because you have attack speed. And two, when you gank and you appear in that instant from your Deceive crit, you're going to have the plus 7.6 AD, and you're going to have the AP and the AD working for your 2-shift poison. So that's actually important. You're going to get the plus 11 AP and the plus 7.6 AD going towards your 2-shift poison because 2-shift poison has a 1-to-1 ratio on both AD and AP. So actually having this amount of AD and AP is really viable on him just because of the way 2-shift poison works. AP also helps with Jack in the Box, which is important because your first clear is Shaco. You will ideally be stacking boxes on either one buff or mixing it between two jungle camps. So it only helps your Jack in the Box, and AP just helps you clear more. So it really does make a difference having that AP. You'll see it between a page that has no AP and a page that does have AP. Your clear speed will be affected. Anyways, moving on. This page right here is just a standard like jungler page that I have here in case if you don't have the IP necessary to get like weird blue APs and the crit chance mark. If you don't have that, it's perfectly fine to play Shaco with a full AD page or even like your like an AD carry page. That's fine too. But you'll be missing out on some of his damage, like some of his early game spikes. Having this allows me to just appear with the most damage possible, like within safety, of course. Having this just gives me AD. Like, I'll have 0 AP for the game, so my knife is only going to scale on my AD. So that's just something to take into account. Your box is going to have plus 0 also. It's nice to have even that like plus 1, plus 2 on your box. It helps. Next up, we have this shit Cray. I copied this rune page from a high elo Shaco called Chinese Jester. I actually haven't looked at what he's been doing lately, but I read one of his guides online, and he basically said that this was his main Shaco page because of his playstyle on Shaco, and I understood what he was saying. What this page does is, it doesn't give you any defense. All you have here is offensive stats. You don't even have attack speed. You just have AD, AP, move speed, and crit. That's it. You just have a lot of everything. What this page does is it lets you capitalize on ganking opportunities and appear with the most damage possible when that opportunity comes out. So one, you'll be faster. This page goes well alongside the Mastery Point Fleet of Foot, which gives you even more. Like, putting 3 points in Fleet of Foot basically equates to 1 movement speed quint. So really, you'll be playing with 4 movement speed quints if you go full glass cannon on Shaco. That's actually a lot of movement speed. Like, you'll change from like 350 to like 370 something, I believe. It's nice. Like, to be that fast without shoes means that you'll start the game off faster than everybody in the game, like, without a doubt. So you'll be able to gank them before they even have shoes. You'll already be faster than them, which is really important. If Shaco is faster than the person that he is ganking, he can usually catch up to them and finish them off. This page helps with that. Second, the 12 AD helps a lot with the backstab and the Deceive crit. See, even level 1 Deceive gives you a 140% critical strike, but then because of backstab, it's actually 168%. So you're adding that 168 with this 12 AD. It's not bad at all. It's actually really strong. The AP helps with your boxes. In the beginning of the match, you're going to be stacking your boxes again, so this is going to help kill that buff faster. And it's also going to add damage to your 2-shift poison, which alongside your AD, it does too. You're getting plus 12 and plus 11 on your 2-shift poison. 2-shift is 1-to-1, which really is 120 to 120 thanks to backstab. See, basic 2-shift poison damage, like without anything added to it, is just 50. Like, it sucks at level 1. Usually Shaco does a level 3, level 4 gank. So you're working with this 50. You want to make this 50 bigger. This is what this does. This increases that 50 to be 60 plus whatever the 120% is. So really, it's only going to equate to like, what, maybe 80 damage, maybe 90 if you're lucky. It's not a lot. Like at level 2, it actually jumps up to 108 if you backstab them. But that level 3 gank, that damage that happens in that level 3 gank or in that level 4 gank is super important, and this only amplifies it. Now, what this page is really good at doing is killing people in a 2v1, a 3v2 situation. With this build, you mostly want to go for a fight where you know you have a numbers advantage because you have no armor stats, you have no magic resist stats. All you have, like, you're just a glass cannon. Like, you appear, and because they're afraid of you and your damage, you're not going to get damaged. Like, they'll probably even just die just because of how strong you are at this point. But if, like, the enemy Lee Sin appears or the enemy Vi appears and counterganks you, you're pretty much fucked. Like, you can't take their damage. But the good thing about this is you're so fast that you can juke a lot of things. Like, without even boots, you can just juke and, like, stay out of harm's way. So it's a bit of a trade-off. Like, how good are you at microing your movements with Shaco versus how much damage are you actually going to take? This is the main reason why in my rune page, like my main page, I take the armor. Just because I know that the enemy jungler is usually going to be AD, and I like to have that forgiveness. I think this page is very unforgiving if you fail. Like, if you're learning Shaco, don't play with this page first. Play with, like, this or this. But if you play with this on your first time at Shaco, you're going to get owned. Like, you're going to have no defensive stats. You're going to just not know the intricacies of Shaco's weaving with his W and like the way that he can aggro and un-aggro monsters. Like, this page really needs micromanagement. You need to know how to not take damage in the jungle with this page, with your box. And there is a way to take minimal damage because of basically Jack in the Box forces aggro on a different point other than you. So you can like toggle that aggro on and off if you move correctly. This page capitalizes on this. So this is all for the gank. This is all for the damage and finding that one gank that you know is going to go uncontested just because you're so fast and because you appear invisible. So I would recommend this page obviously in solo queue. Like, if I was playing like in low elo right now, I would probably just test this page, like all my games. Like, I would test this and see how it goes. But there's certain characters that I would not play this page against. I wouldn't play this page against like a Lissandra. If Lissandra's in the game, she's just going to stop me. Like, especially if I gank her, she's just going to stop me and it's going to fail in my face. Like, her ulti can't be avoided by Shaco. Shaco can avoid stuff with his ulti or his Q. Lissandra she just needs to walk up to you and press R and like you're done. Riven. If you gank a Riven with this page, like, and it's not a 2v1, like, you could never 1v1 like a Riven, a Yasuo, or a Tryndamere with this page. They're just going to win. Like, their stats are going to be way higher than yours. They're going to last longer and do way more front-loaded damage. Just like characters that have like a very snappy stun or like CC, it's not good to run this page against because there's a higher chance for you to be caught out and then they just capitalize on your complete squishiness. So I also think playing this rune page in ranked 5s would be very risky just because of how much more coordinated people would be. In a way, Shaco does rely on the enemy team being uncoordinated, but it's not such a weakness of his. It's just he capitalizes on that instance where you think you're safe and then you're not. So yeah, these are the 3 Shaco rune pages I would say that you should get comfortable with playing Shaco on if you want to play him on a pretty good level. This page, honestly, I would never use this page anymore. Like, this is only if you're really learning him and you don't have like the specialized AP runes here. It's not terrible and you can get wins with this page. It's just I like having some AP. That's my preference, which is why I took it here. So yeah, learn to play Shaco with one of these pages. If you're a Shaco main and you haven't seen this page yet, I say try it because it's very strong. Like, you deal a lot of damage. You get a lot of control if you get ahead on this. If you're ahead with all this movement speed, you can be anywhere. Like, the enemy team will be afraid to, like, if they don't have wards, they're going to be so afraid of you because you can literally just appear. You can gank them from behind your own team and just do what you want. This plus Moby Boots lets you be anywhere. So I highly recommend this if you haven't tried it out on Shaco yet. It's just a really fun way to make him strong. But again, you need a lot of finesse with Shaco to play this and pull this off. This is a bit more forgiving. This gives you a lot of the same similar strengths as this page, only it's a bit more toned down. You have less AD, and you trade off the movement speed quints for attack speed, because that's just my preference. And I think because I always buy Moby Boots anyways, I don't really need the movement speed. That's my reasoning, but experiment and see what works for you. I'd just say having a blend of AD, attack speed, and AP is essential on Shaco. Like you want both AP and AD on Shaco for sure. It's too good to pass up. Alright, so let's talk about the mastery pages. I have two mastery pages that I use. One of them is mine, and one of them is copied from this Chinese jester guy, and I'm going to walk you through both of them. What you mostly want on your mastery pages from Shaco is the damage modifiers. So what I'm saying here is the double-edged sword, and executioner for this page. Oh, and of course Havoc. These are your three main damage modifiers. This only works at 50% HP or lower, but this and this are going to kick in immediately as soon as you appear with Deceive, just because of the way they work. And not only will these kick in, but these will kick in addition to backstab, which is why it's important to stack modifiers on Shaco, because he already has his own innate 20% bonus damage modifier. So just adding an extra modifier on that gives you just like this huge increase of damage on him. And then you've also got Warlord here, which gives you bonus AD. What this really means with Shaco is he can do like a poor man's build, like just longswords, and still get away with it, because that one longsword is going to get the plus 20% bonus damage to it, and then all these modifiers too. So Shaco does a lot more with smaller buys than other junglers do, just because the damage is amplified through backstab. So that's important to take advantage of and to take note of. Like, he'll use a longsword and a shoes buy better than someone else, like a Kha'Zix or a Vi. Like, they'll use the stats well, but Shaco will take that bonus AD from the longsword and increase it in a way that Vi and other junglers cannot do. So there's just something to take in mind and to think about with Shaco. Next up, the defense page. Some people don't even take defense on Shaco. This is my preference. This is actually just like a generic like jungler 9 points in defense page. You got your block, and then you got tough skin and bladed armor. This is completely my preference. Some people play Shaco without this. Some people, like, it's totally viable to do this. This is perfectly fine. I just like tough skin. It just helps me. It's my style. You don't need it. You can actually even get rid of this and take regen if you really don't want this, because Shaco has a way of avoiding damage from the monsters. So these 2 points aren't used as much as someone else, like an Udyr or a Vi. Like, those champions are always going to take the full damage from the jungle camp. So of course they're going to want to take these, because it's going to reduce it. Every time they interact with the jungle monsters, they're going to take a lot of, like, damage from all 3 or all 4 monsters. Shaco takes damage from one less monster than any other jungler, because if you place your box at the right spot, the main monster will focus the box, and then the mini monsters will be focusing you. So this point actually isn't as efficient on Shaco if you do things right, but it's still good to have. So yeah, that's my rundown of the basic page. If you're learning Shaco, I just say pick this up. This is a very forgiving and staple standard page on Shaco. Like, this is basically your normal jungler page with the added frenzy. Like, someone else would take, I don't know what another jungler would take, but this is probably the most unique thing. Most junglers would never take Frenzy because they don't have crit, but Shaco forces a crit with his Q. So that means that when you appear in a gank, you're proccing this immediately, and you're going to have the +5 attack speed. So it's just good for him. The next page is to go in combination with Dishit Cray, with the Glass Cannon page, mostly because it just amplifies it even further. See, what we take here is almost full offense with, I will actually just say this is a full offense page. Like, movement speed is pretty offensive on Shaco also. It helps him gank from a further range. So you take your 3 in utility to basically give you an extra movement speed quint, and you take every damage modifier on the offensive tree. You get this, 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 and this. You don't need blade weaving, to be honest. Like, it doesn't hurt to have it, but see, the thing with blade weaving is it only procs off of spell effects, and the only spells that Shaco is gonna land is his E and his W, and sometimes W doesn't even land on the enemy. So sometimes you're looking at just getting one proc at this, whereas other champions like a Karthus or I don't know, there's other champions with more spammy abilities that'll get this off more, but Shaco is not one of them. So you don't actually need this, but having it only helps. Like it'll make you a little bit stronger. And again, on Shaco, you want to stack percent modifiers. So this is percent, 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 percent. You just want all of them. This page takes all of them, and it takes the AP to make your AP even stronger. You'll probably have at like 18 to 17 AP when you start the match off if you take these AP points, because you've already got 11 here. No, I don't want to save. So yeah, this page is just full offense. This is for the gank. This is for that instant when you appear. And if you get fed off this page, you could probably just pick a fight with anybody after a while. Like you just show up and land a crap load of damage before they can even respond with this. So yeah, those are Shaco's runes and mastery pages. I just wanted to give a nice breakdown of what is viable for Shaco and what I find to work in mid to low diamond elo. This is what I see people using. Everybody has their own way of building and playing Shaco, but I feel like having a nice spread of AD, AP, and some attack speed really gets Shaco up to par with like other top tier junglers, and it just amplifies him like beyond anything else can. Like skipping the AP is really bad in my opinion. Like after I've learned to play Shaco with AP, I never wanted to go back. Like AP is just too good to pass up. So yeah, thank you for watching my video, and I'll be making another video soon on how to jungle more efficiently on Shaco. Goodbye.